We're here today to examine a monument to American ingenuity, the Panama Canal.
Panama and the vital Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The new president has repeatedly said that the U.S. should take back control of the waterway.
President Trump saying repurchasing the canal is vital for our national security.
Trump is claiming that Panama has broken a promise to remain neutral, alleging that China is out.
Panama's promise to us has been broken, and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships.
The Panama causing a traffic jam in one of the largest trading routes in the world right now.
The Panama Canal has shut down, causing a massive global crisis. Ships are stranded, and trade is grinding to a halt. Even Elon Musk is visibly shaken by the impact. His emotional reaction highlights just how devastating this situation has become. What led to this sudden closure? The consequences are severe, affecting businesses, supply chains, and economies worldwide in unexpected ways. Stay with us as we reveal the shocking truth behind this shutdown, its ripple effects, and Musk's deeply emotional response. From the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean, the Panama Canal is one of the most amazing man-made structures in the world. Think about a huge water slide that ships can use to travel from one side of the world to the other without having to sail around South America. Long ago, this was the dream of many people. The canal became one of the most important pieces of infrastructure ever built when it was finally completed in 1914. It changed how people and goods moved around the world, and its importance has only grown over time. To travel between oceans, ships no longer had to sail around the southern tip of South America. They saved both time and fuel by simply passing through this narrow strip of land in Panama. Every year, thousands of ships pass through this vital waterway. Massive cargo ships transport everything from food and electronics to cars and oil. It's not just a shortcut, it's a crucial artery of global trade. Without it, the world would look very different. The Panama Canal makes it possible to move goods faster and at a lower cost. Now, imagine if the canal suddenly stopped working. The impact would be so severe that global trade would come to a standstill. It's hard to believe that something that has functioned smoothly for so long could abruptly shut down. Yet, that's exactly what has happened in recent months. This isn't just a minor disruption, it's a complete system failure, affecting not just Panama but the entire world. This waterway is vital to global commerce. Around 6% of the world's trade passes through the Panama Canal. That means about 1 in 20 products we use daily have likely traveled through it. Whether we realize it or not, our phones, fuel, and food are all connected to the canal. When it stops working, the effects ripple through every aspect of life, from the clothes we wear to the cars we drive. A steady flow of cargo ships passes through the canal every day. And these aren't small boats, they are massive vessels, as tall as buildings, carrying goods from across the globe. These ships power the world economy, and the canal is the key route ensuring everything runs smoothly. Without it, the entire system slows down. Building the Panama Canal was no easy task. It took decades of hard work, engineering breakthroughs, and overcoming countless challenges. Experts made it work despite the technological limitations of the time. It was a remarkable achievement that has stood the test of time. However, like any century-old structure, the canal has faced its share of problems. While it has been modernized, it wasn't originally designed to accommodate today's enormous ships. Over the years, it has had to adapt and improve to meet the growing demands of global trade. When the canal was first completed, it seemed like the ultimate solution to maritime travel. But challenges quickly emerged. Storms, flooding, and even earthquakes have tested its resilience. On top of that, increasing traffic has made it harder to keep up with demand. Yet, despite these difficulties, the Panama Canal has continued to function, until now. The canal's design is nothing short of genius. It operates using a system of locks that function like massive elevators for ships. As vessels move through the canal, these locks help raise and lower them, allowing them to cross over the terrain. It's like stepping from the shallow end of a pool into deeper waters. before the canal existed, ships had to take the long and dangerous route around the southern tip of South America to travel between the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. The Panama Canal cut across a narrow strip of land, drastically reducing travel time, fuel costs, and risks. After its construction, global trade changed forever, becoming faster and more efficient. Before the canal, ships had to navigate the treacherous waters around Cape Horn, the southernmost tip of South America. These waters are among the most dangerous in the world, with frequent storms and strong winds. Once the Panama Canal opened, ships could bypass this perilous route, making travel much safer and quicker. Throughout the 20th century, the Panama Canal played a crucial role in global trade. It connected economies worldwide and facilitated the movement of goods like never before. At its busiest, it handled a significant portion of international trade. As global economies expanded, so did the canal's workload. Even today, it remains a vital part of global commerce. However, as the world changes, so does the canal. It now accommodates larger and faster ships than ever before. While it was a groundbreaking feat of engineering when first built, it is now struggling with challenges it was never designed to handle. The world was thrown into chaos when news broke that the Panama Canal had shut down. It was hard to believe that such a critical waterway could suddenly stop functioning. As the economic impact became clear, panic spread. Ships that had been waiting in line for days were forced to turn back. Overcrowded ports delayed deliveries, causing widespread disruptions. The importance of the canal is undeniable, but now, something is threatening its very existence. What's causing this sudden crisis? By mid-1995, people started noticing unusual activity at the canal. Normally, it bustled with ships constantly moving through. However, traffic began slowing down. Ships were taking longer than usual to pass, and some couldn't get through as quickly as before. For a long time, the canal had operated without major issues. But now, that was changing. The slowdown was alarming because the Panama Canal plays a crucial role in global shipping, making trade faster and more cost-effective. A disruption could throw the entire system into chaos. A major issue was Gatun Lake. The canal depends on this lake to function, as it supplies the water needed for ships to pass through the locks. However, something unusual happened in 2025. The lake's water levels dropped dramatically due to a severe drought. Droughts occur when there isn't enough rainfall, leading to lower water levels in lakes and rivers. Without sufficient water, the canal couldn't operate at full capacity. The number of ships allowed to pass through was reduced, and only smaller vessels could make the journey. Larger ships faced long delays, creating massive disruptions for global shipping. But the weather wasn't the only problem. Politics also played a significant role in making things worse. The Panama Canal is crucial to the United States and many other countries. However, disagreements arose between the US and Panama over toll fees for using the canal, further complicating the situation. Another issue emerged as China began investing heavily in Panama. This made some American officials uneasy, fearing China's growing influence over such a strategic waterway. As tensions increased, the two nations struggled to find common ground. With water shortages and international conflicts brewing, keeping the canal operational became an increasingly difficult challenge. The Panama Canal has always been vital to global trade, but now, its future is uncertain. As the crisis continues, businesses, governments, and everyday people who depend on the canal for trade are left wondering, how long can the world endure without it? Could the canal stay open, or was it going to close for good? Many businesses are struggling to make changes since the Panama Canal closed. These changes are being felt all over the world. Because the canal is such an important artery, it has a big effect on the flow of goods. This shortcut is used by ships from all over the world to get goods from one ocean to the other. When the Panama Canal closes, it causes a huge problem for shipping companies. They can't get anywhere. Think about how the flow of things has changed. Every day, electronics, food, and even oil pass through the canal on their way to countries all over the world. Because of the closure, shipments must take longer routes to reach their destinations. This extra journey time causes delays. Goods from Asia might take much longer to reach the US if they have to go around South America. This affects both the companies waiting for the goods and the people who need them. Now picture yourself waiting for a new phone or a toy you really want. When goods don't arrive on time, stores may run out of stock, or prices may rise due to limited supply. Items like technology, clothing, and even food might become more expensive if the Panama Canal remains closed. It's like wanting ice cream on a hot day, but the truck is late. The price of ice cream goes up because everyone wants it. This is a simple example, but it illustrates how supply chain problems work. Now let's talk about oil. A lot of the world's oil supply moves through the Panama Canal. When the canal is closed, oil ships need to find alternate routes. This could lead to shortages in some areas and higher oil prices. It affects nearly everything, from the cost of filling up your car to the price of flights and shipping. Prices keep rising, and this is known as inflation. As long as the canal is closed, businesses will have to pay more to transport goods across oceans. Ultimately, people like you and me end up covering these costs. Even grocery store prices can be affected. It's not just about retail products. When transporting food becomes more expensive, the overall cost of living increases. The short-term effects on shipping and prices are obvious, but experts are still debating the long-term consequences. This kind of disruption can impact stock markets worldwide. Companies may lose revenue if they can't get their goods to customers on time. When that happens, investors may panic and sell their stocks, causing prices to drop. As confidence in the market declines, economic conditions can worsen. Many people are worried about the domino effect. If the Panama Canal stays closed for too long, companies may struggle to meet demand, leading to more delays and shortages. Recovery might not happen immediately. The Panama Canal plays a crucial role in keeping global supply chains running smoothly, and its closure could have lasting effects on the world economy. To make matters worse, the crisis could escalate. If shipping companies are forced to reroute their vessels around entire continents, travel times increase, and operating costs rise. If a ship has to travel for weeks longer than planned, fuel and labor expenses go up, and customers end up paying more. Many are also speculating about how long this crisis will last. So far, there's no clear answer, and some fear it could drag on for months. Markets are reacting in unpredictable ways. Some stocks are falling, while others are rising. For example, oil companies may profit from the crisis if they can sell fuel at higher prices. But the impact isn't limited to oil. Many other businesses are struggling with increased costs. Shipping companies are likely suffering the most. As ships get caught in traffic and face longer routes, costs go up, and deliveries slow down. This creates a double burden, and not only do they lose money from delays, but they also have to spend more on fuel and resources. The uncertainty makes it difficult for businesses to plan for the future. Economists warn that the longer the canal remains closed, the harder it will be to return to normal. In the short term, the stock market will react to each new development. However, if the canal remains closed for weeks or months, the economic damage could be long-lasting. Countries that rely heavily on Panama Canal trade, such as those in Central and South America, may experience slower economies if their exports face delays. No one knows exactly how long it will take to restore normal operations. What is clear is that the global economy is struggling. The Panama Canal's closure is not just a regional issue, it has worldwide consequences. A delayed shipment or an increased product price affects everyone. The world is already feeling the strain, with rising costs, market instability, and businesses scrambling for solutions. But one voice stands out in the chaos: Elon Musk. As news of the Panama Canal closure spread, billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk addressed the situation with an emotional response. Known for his work with Tesla, SpaceX, and other ventures, Musk has never shied away from discussing global business challenges. This time, his words carried extra weight. Musk spoke candidly about how the closure of such a vital shipping route affects everyone, not just his businesses. To him, it wasn't just a logistical problem, it was a global crisis, impacting jobs and livelihoods worldwide. He emphasized that this wasn't just about ships getting stuck or goods arriving late, it was about humanity's ability to keep moving forward. During his address to reporters, Musk appeared visibly shaken. His usual composed demeanor was overshadowed by concern. For an innovator like Musk, whose work revolves around sustainability and technological advancement, the Panama Canal's closure felt like a major setback. His businesses rely on global supply chains, and the canal has always been a key factor in fast and efficient delivery. As he spoke, it became clear that his concerns extended beyond short-term disruptions. Musk focused on the long-term impact on global trade. He emphasized the urgent need to modernize trade and logistics systems. Having revolutionized electric vehicles and space travel, he didn't see the canal's closure as an unsolvable problem. Instead, he viewed it as a challenge, an opportunity to develop new ways of transporting goods and sustaining economies. Musk argued that shipping methods need to be faster and more efficient. He questioned why the world still relies on systems designed over a century ago. He insisted that global trade must evolve, calling for smarter, more sustainable transportation solutions. In his speech, Musk suggested that this crisis could serve as a wake-up call. Humanity has relied on the Panama Canal and similar shipping routes for decades, but he saw this as a chance to push forward. The world has changed since the canal was built, and with modern technology, new approaches must be developed. Self-driving ships, drones, and high-speed rail could transform the way goods are transported worldwide. Musk's emotional response reflected a broader vision. While the immediate crisis was serious, he was thinking beyond short-term fixes. He was concerned about the future of transportation, technology, and the global economy. The closure of the Panama Canal was more than a shipping disruption, it was a sign that traditional methods might no longer be enough. Many people resonated with his message. Musk continued, emphasizing that innovation often emerges from adversity. His drive to challenge conventional thinking had led him to. Musk wanted to start his own businesses. He didn't think a lot of people had to do nothing while the canal was being fixed. His view was that the future was already here, ready to be accepted. His words had a quiet air of confidence to them. Musk didn't offer easy or quick solutions. Instead, he showed a world that was ready to change, where people could work together and think of new ways to solve problems. He insisted that this wasn't the end of world trade as we knew it, it was just a step toward something bigger. Musk's words were full of worry about the world economy and his own businesses, but they also had a bit of hope in them. The Panama Canal's closing wasn't just a loss, it was a sign that shipping, logistics, and trade needed to be rethought as a whole. Musk wasn't the only one who believed that new ideas could help the world move forward. He had spent his whole life proving that with the right attitude, even the hardest problems could be solved. Hearing Musk's emotional reaction gave many people a sense of urgency and possibility. He didn't try to make the problem seem less serious or sugarcoat it. He agreed that this was a big problem, but he also believed that people were smart and had the tools to solve it. His emotions gave a rare glimpse behind the scenes of a man whose drive often exceeds that of those around him. This time, it was clear that his emotional investment wasn't just in the future of his businesses, it was in the future of everyone. As the world grapples with the fallout from the Panama Canal's closure, many are already looking toward the future, toward solutions and innovations that could help avoid another crisis like this one. While the situation is dire, it also presents an opportunity to rethink the way the world moves goods across borders and oceans. One of the most talked about solutions is the role of automation and artificial intelligence, AI, in modernizing global logistics. For decades, shipping has relied on traditional methods that have remained largely unchanged. However, with the rise of technology, there is a growing belief that automation can play a crucial role in reducing the likelihood of such disruptions. Automated ships, for example, could be a game-changer for the shipping industry. These ships would use advanced sensors, AI, and machine learning to navigate the seas more efficiently, without the need for human crews. This could help avoid bottlenecks in shipping routes, prevent delays caused by human error, and even help ships navigate more sustainably, reducing their environmental impact. Imagine a fleet of smart, self-driving ships moving goods across the world, adjusting their routes in real time based on weather, traffic, and other factors. This could be the future of global trade. AI also has the potential to improve port operations, making them more efficient and less vulnerable to disruption. Ports are key nodes in the supply chain, and delays at ports can cause ripple effects throughout the entire system. By using AI to predict traffic patterns, optimize docking schedules, and improve cargo handling, ports can become more resilient, ensuring that goods move smoothly even in the face of challenges like the Panama Canal's closure. But technology isn't the only solution. Another option is to explore alternative trade routes and infrastructure that could bypass the need for the Panama Canal altogether. The closure of the canal has already highlighted how dependent the world is on a few key shipping routes. Other paths could be developed, whether through the Arctic, new canals, or expanded rail and road systems. Some experts suggest that an expanded network of canals or tunnels could be a possible solution, offering new ways to move goods between continents without relying on a single choke point like the Panama Canal. One such project is the Northern Sea Route, a shipping route through the Arctic, which has gained attention due to the melting of ice. With climate change making the Arctic more navigable, this route could provide a viable alternative to traditional shipping lanes. While it's still in its infancy and requires further development, the Northern Sea Route could become an important part of the global shipping network in the coming years. Another area of focus is the development of new infrastructure. Over the past century, shipping infrastructure has remained largely the same, but the closure of the Panama Canal has brought into sharp focus how fragile the system can be. To prevent further disruptions, countries around the world may need to invest in more robust infrastructure. This could involve building new ports, expanding existing ones, and even creating entirely new transportation networks that can handle the increasing demand for goods. With the right investments, the world could build a more resilient system that can withstand disruptions like the Panama Canal's closure. However, technological advancements and new infrastructure alone won't be enough to solve the problem. A larger issue involves climate change and geopolitical tensions. The closure of the Panama Canal was partly triggered by a severe drought, highlighting how vulnerable the canal is to the effects of climate change. Rising temperatures, changing rainfall patterns, and more frequent extreme weather events could make the canal even more unpredictable in the future. As Musk suggested earlier, we need to rethink how we operate on a global scale, taking into account the growing threats posed by climate change. This will require cooperation on a global level. Addressing these challenges will also require international collaboration. In an interconnected world, the issues faced by one country can quickly ripple out to affect others. The closure of the Panama Canal has shown just how interconnected global trade is and how reliant we are on shared infrastructure. To address these challenges, countries must work together, not just to find technological solutions, but to combat the root causes of the problem. This could mean working together to tackle climate change, sharing resources, and investing in technologies that can help mitigate the effects of extreme weather. Geopolitical tensions also play a crucial role in global trade. As countries vie for control over strategic routes and resources, tensions can escalate, further complicating the situation. One of the key lessons from the Panama Canal crisis is the need for cooperation between nations to ensure that trade flows smoothly. By working together, countries can address issues like the rising tensions over canal tolls, trade imbalances, and access to key resources. As Musk mentioned in his address, this is a chance for the world to come together and solve a problem that affects everyone. The road ahead will require a combination of technological innovation, investment in infrastructure, and global collaboration. We are already seeing the first signs of change, with companies exploring new technologies and governments considering new trade routes. But the road to a more resilient global trade system will not be easy. It will require bold ideas, collaboration across borders, and a willingness to embrace the future. Policymakers and Industry leaders must work together to create adaptive strategies that can withstand future disruptions. Embracing digital transformation and sustainable practices will be key to building long-term resilience. While challenges lie ahead, the potential for a more efficient and interconnected global economy has never been greater. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For more updates on global events, click the next video and stay tuned. Your support helps us bring you more amazing content.